welcome everyone to the second annual HHS Shark Tank. Really excited to be here tonight. We have 6 student teams that will be presenting their ideas. The way the night's going to work, we're going to run through all 6, 7 minutes to pitch, and then we're going to do 5 minutes for questions. We have our panel of 5 selected sharks who will be asking the questions and ultimately deciding the winner. And we have $3,500 of cash prizes to give out tonight. So it'll be $2,000 for first place, $1,000 for second place, and $500 for third place. Before we get started and bring the first team up, I just want to have each of the sharks introduce themselves. So you want to get out here?
You got it. My name's Chris Cooney. Live in Hopkinton. I've lived here for 25 years and probably bought 5 or 6 houses from Chuck down the table here. Own a good business by the name of International Capital Equipment for the last 13 years. Prior to that, I worked for Bank of Tokyo for 20 years in Boston, and also own another local business here called Yoga Beach, which is in the center of town. And look forward to it. This is fun.
Lomanitas, I'm a partner at Dorm Room Fund, which is the student-focused venture group that's backed by First Round Capital. More relevant for, I guess, you all. I'm also a student at Oldham College, where I study math and the intersections of healthcare and computing.
Dan Hurwitz, I'm an HHS grad from 2006. Right now I work for a venture capital fund that invests in seed stage machine learning and AI companies. So really interesting tech companies, and excited to be here tonight.
I'm Chuck Joseph. I own a real estate company here in the Metro West area, and I've done some development work in town. I taught in Hopkins High School for 10 years and coached for many years after that, and helped design this room, so it's really kind of fun to be in here.
I'm Dawn Smith. I have been in Hopkinton for about 20 years. I have 4 kids that have gone through or are going through the Hopkinton schools. I own a financial services company with a few offices. Our home office is here in Hopkinton. We have a pretty strong internship program. I've given one of the teachers my card so that everybody has it. And I was a psychology major at Dartmouth College, so my greatest study in entrepreneurship came from watching my parents build a business when I was young. My dad taught me all about it, and it's one of my favorite things, so I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome. Thank you to the sharks. Quick background on us, you're going to be hearing a little bit more about the HHS Shark Tank tonight and why we started this. Like I mentioned, this is our 2nd year running the program. So my quick background, my name's Tom Coburn. I grew up in Hopkinton, was class of 2009 here. I met Matt a couple of years ago when we were talking about just entrepreneurship, and I now live in Boston and run a software company there, which all got started through a competition similar to this that I did in college. And we just thought there should be something like this in Hopkinton, which is why we got started.
Yeah, my name is Matt Colleran. I've been in Hopkinton for 4 years. I have 3 kids who are not yet of high school age, but will be here in the next decade or so. And I run marketing for a startup toy company based out of Hong Kong.
Awesome. And with that, I think we're ready to kick it off with our very first team.
All right, let's go, guys.
Alright, so our product is College Search Kickoff, and we're here to find your future. Alright, so our company purpose is to inform and educate all the students on different admissions tools, and we're also trying to teach them leadership skills along the way while trying to find the best school for them on these different doors.
On the problem, colleges are very expensive and grueling time process. Being able to find a college and being able to pick a college is a very lengthy process. It costs a lot of money. Going through thousands and thousands of different schools, finding what's right for them. Touring many places, oftentimes touring many colleges is a financial burden for families. Parents of people who are going to college often live professional lives, and have families and don't often have the time or the resources to go and visit numerous different schools for their children. And there is a ginormous void and lack of education and leadership training among youth individuals, particularly students our age, not only about the college process, but just in leadership in general.
All right, so our solution to these problems that Pat have highlighted are very simple. So what we would do is we would provide students with a program that would allow them to tour many different colleges in the span of just a single weekend. So what we would do is we would take a big location with lots of colleges in that area. So for example, like the example up here, we have Boston. So in that weekend, the students would have the opportunity to tour Boston College, Boston University, Northeastern, Harvard, etc., a bunch of different schools in that single weekend. So what we would do is we'd have the students fill out a survey before they start the program, kind of personalize an own program for them. So, usually with college tours, you need to pick out just one day for one school, but here we get it all done in a weekend. With the college tours, we'd be able to pair this with training on the college application process. We have resume building, we have leadership training, we have college essay workshops, how to take an interview. And so all this would be within the program within the weekend. So you really get a lot of the college process done within a very short amount of time.
Why not? So colleges are getting more and more picky on who they accept. Getting into college is a very challenging process, and getting into elite schools is also very challenging. They want the most qualified and elite students to fill their colleges. Students need to be well-rounded with leadership qualities, and a lot of students don't necessarily know how to gain these qualities and don't have any clue where to start. So it would be very efficient and effective for parents to send their children onto one of our tours to learn all the skills they need.
Okay, so what's the market size for this? Well, 20.4 million students go to college each year as first-year students. And so you have 20.4 million students as seniors looking to go into college, and then you have 20.4 million more juniors that are looking at colleges, and they're starting the process the same way the seniors are starting. So we combine for about 40.8 million students, and each year the market for students that go to college as first-year students is growing, and it's increased 30% from 2000.
The competition. So there's no direct competition that combines leadership education, hard skills such as resume building, essay workshops, interview skills, along with the actual hard program of visiting college tours. Some similar things are college essay advisors and college X programs, and these are summer camps that offer students essay building or essay writing workshops and resume building opportunities, but they don't actually visit any colleges.
So why are we different? So one of the main things that makes us different is that this is a student-run company. People like Matt, Pat, and I, we have freshly gone through this process, and students with questions, it's easier for them to connect to us and ask questions. It's one thing for an adult to tell you how to do all these things, but it's a lot easier to kind of talk to someone more like you, more down to your age. And another thing is we really focus on the experience. At a typical college tour, you're just another number in that crowd. Here, you have a personalized experience that is meant for you. With the survey that they would take, it would be only schools you're interested in, all the classes they would take to try to improve, whether it's the resume or whatever, it would be all personalized to them. This being said, we would also have the opportunity to outsource professionals, like leadership professionals that would be able to come in and give workshops, whether it's someone who is really aware in how to have a really successful resume, whatever that, we'd be able to bring all that in as one. And the biggest thing is there's no direct competition to our company. There are a lot of different companies that do separate things, whether it's college essay or just college tours, but nothing combines us all into one.
Okay, so our product, it's a service that's offered to many students in colleges, and basically we're trying to get both the students in on it and the colleges to sign up with us. Basically as an advertising tool for the colleges, and also as a way for the students to find the right fit for schools, and to get many different tips such as information on missions, different resume building skills, and also to find leadership skills, which are highly coveted now in the workforce.
So our business model is very simple. So there would be a mandatory survey that every student would have to fill out before coming to our program. There would be a set agenda that they would have before they arrive. with when they'd be going on college tours, when they'd have classes, all this, so they know exactly what they're doing and when. Food and lodging would be included, so this would be added to the price that we had in the beginning. So each student would know the price before going into it, and there would be a non-refundable deposit that would need to be put down in order to reserve a spot before.
A sample trip for Boston, this is what one would look like. On day one of the program, the group would meet at around 8:30. At 9 o'clock, the group would tour Northeastern University. At around 11, the group would tour Boston University. At around 12:30, we would break for lunch. Around 1 o'clock, we would have a college resume building session in the U library. Around 2:30, we would tour BC. Around 4, we would have a mock interview session in the BC library. And around 5, the day would end. Day 2 looks very similar to this, just interchanging the courses and the colleges we visit. So far, this is the progress we've had so far. We gave a free informational session for rising juniors, so current sophomores right now. We surveyed at the session, and we just gave some general questions. Do you feel you're ready for college yet? Do you know where you want to go to school? And some of the data we came out with was 78% of the rising juniors don't know where they want to go to school. 89% of the rising juniors feel pressure when it comes to choosing a good college, not necessarily the right fit for them. And 71% of rising juniors felt that college trips could help them with the process. We have about 5 projected students for a college tour in late June, hoping to get more.
So where to find us, we have recently developed a fully functionable and running website online. You can find it, we provided the link here. Here you can sign up for a session. It says everything about our programs, what we do, everything about our team and everything like that, so you can find us there.
We probably should have done this at the beginning, but sorry.
Okay, so I'm Matt. I'm a prospective college student looking to go to Penn State to study finance and the School of Business. And I was captain of the football team, and I play hockey and baseball too.
I'm Pat Murphy. I'll be attending the University of Maryland Business School as an undecided business major. I was also the captain of the Alpine ski team at our school and a member of the lacrosse and cross-country teams. And I sit on the Metro West Student Fund Junior Board.
I'm Owen Glenn. I will be attending Providence College as a finance major. I was captain of the hockey and soccer team. I'm a member of National Honor Society and I work at River Beach.
All right.
All right, thank you.
So we're going to give the judges 5 minutes to ask questions and then move on to the next group. So whoever would like to start.
I got a quick question. Just a quick question, guys. In the whole presentation, I didn't hear one particular word at all, and I'm just curious maybe why, and maybe you can comment on it. Parents aren't involved at all?
Well, so a big problem we wanted to solve was a lot of parents have jobs, they have their own lives, and going on college tours is very time consuming. So a lot of parents, they don't really have the time to really go to a lot of schools for kids to see, and you really want your kids to see a variety so they know what they are. So yeah, the kids would be sent away to our program, there would be advisors that would take care of them and whatever, and yeah, they'd be taken care of. It really takes a burden off the parents.
Also, going off that, if you brought parents, it would raise the prices for the student, and we think we want to be cheap and easy for the student to be only the students that get into this.
And just to add on to that, let's face it, parents are also a huge part of the college's and annual coming back process, and they're the ones who are paying for it, so they're a huge part of the decision making. But one of our things our program really focuses on is trying to find the student's needs and what the student really likes. And oftentimes, parents deliver a lot of pressure onto their child of, okay, I went to Providence College, I want you to go to Providence College. So one of the big things is independently finding out what the student wants, and then you have a whole lots of other months and lots of other consultations to see what they need. But we're ultimately trying to find the students' individual needs.
Gotcha. Next.
How did the 3 of you decide to get together and tackle this problem as a group?
Well, so me and Matt we did this competition last year actually, and we had an idea that we liked, but right after the competition, we were kind of talking, we were like, we want something we're a little more passionate about, and we were talking to Pat, and he was like, I have this idea, and we started developing it, and we really liked it, and ever since then, we've kind of been talking about it. We've all had our struggles with the college application process and college tours. It's lengthy, it's stressful, and we just really wanted an easier solution for it, and we think that this could be it.
To go off During my college process, I found things such as resume building were really hard. You're never taught resume building in school. Most kids in high school don't even know what a resume is. I got myself up late at night Googling resume building rubrics and things like that. And I really wish I had a program that would teach me these hard skills that I would be able to know both for the college process and beyond for the professional world. There's many areas of the country, for example, I'm going to school in DC. I wasn't very fortunate enough to tour all these different areas to find these schools. So I think if I had an opportunity, it would have brought my career out of the
I wanted to ask, did any of you or together, did you run through a sample of your day, of your agenda? Did you do it with each other? For me, it seems like it's an awful lot to try to create quality of content in short periods of time. It seems like a lot of force and a lot of running around. So I wonder, it looks good on paper. I think actually implementing it, what's the quality of the student's experience? How much can you really teach someone about building a resume in an hour when you're rushing after this tour to this library to sit? Now how are they going to remember which schools they saw? Just curious.
I think that's a fair point. I think seeing 1 or 2 or 3 schools a day can be very stressful. But like I said, I think building awareness just in the beginning of a resume and planting the fact that these kids need resumes. It wouldn't, like you said, the lessons are necessarily short. They're an hour and you're after a long day. But they plant a seed in kids' brain that they need to have a resume. And almost just like it's opening the door, so that way they can do the rest. Because ultimately, we can't do the work for them to get to college to build a resume, but we can give them what they need to start.
Yes. If I can add to that, one real problem we really didn't want to occur with this company was that with seeing a large amount of schools in a short period of time, they kind of all like blend into one. So something we were actually talking about and trying to develop would be a post-survey after every single school that you see, kind of take notes about it, what you liked, what you didn't like. That way all the schools kind of, you know, after like what you liked and what you didn't, and they don't all blur into one. So you would kind of have like a profile of every single school and what you like.
So your model is geographically based. You're going to bring kids to a particular urban center where there are multiple universities, and they're going to tour, say, let's say 4, just we'll pick a number. But those 4 schools range in the qualifications for each school. So I may be touring Harvard and may not have the qualifications to go there because I'm in Boston on this tour. And to Dawn's point, it seems like there's a lot in a day. I'm trying to think about the logistics of moving, you know, from school to school, et cetera, and absorbing a tremendous amount of information, and then going back and taking classes. Have you given any thought to how you're going to vet these particular students who want to come here, or are you even interested in that? If they want to pay you and come, you'll take them. And I'm just curious from your business model standpoint.
So part of the thing is, yes, exactly. Not all students are going to be looking at Harvard, BC, BU. Let's face it, we weren't. But that's why before you come, we want to get a sense of, we don't necessarily need to know your GPA and your exact transcript, but we have a general survey like the one we gave at our info session where do you have a mix, do you have A's, do you have a mix of A's and B's, do you have all B's, do you have all C's, and that will allow us to really tailor and group the kids where they want to go and pick out the schools, because in Boston alone, I think there's almost over 150 universities ranging from schools that it's very easy to get into to Harvard, it's our school in the world. So I think we'll be able to tailor that and fit what the schools and the need is.
All right, great. Thank you all.
Yeah, I'm Jacob Dan.
And we're down to
Long-lasting teams of friendships, reimagined.
So, as the online gaming community keeps evolving, it's become apparent that gamers need teammates that match a certain criteria. This includes things such as the same skill level, same age range, same region, same platform, and several other different types of criteria. Yet, as of now, no way currently exists to reliably find other gamers who meet these requirements.
And the solution? Provide gamers with an easy way to find reliable teammates online.
So what is Squad Up?
Squad Up is an application that allows gamers to find suitable teammates over the internet. This can be done via the following simple steps. Step 1, create a profile. Now, safety is one of our #1 priorities, so for this, no personal information is actually required. Step 2, set preferences for teammates you'd like to be matched up with. Step 3, choose from a list of possible teammates. Step 4, squad up and have fun.
Now, speaking in terms of market size, only in $91 billion in revenue was made in only 2016. And 1.2 billion people play video games worldwide. On top of that, 700 million are playing online multiplayer games. And recent studies have shown that 4 out of 5 American households own a video game console, and 52% of Americans play video games daily.
So why now? Online multiplayer video games are bigger than ever, and the community is growing every day. With a really strong emphasis on teamwork and cooperation, it's really important to have a good team you can work with. And like this, you're going to achieve victory. Also, online video games are the forefront of social media and even the news, with well-known celebrities such as Drake playing on daily basis. Now, what about our competition? Well, the truth is our innovation needs competition behind it. Several companies have provided gamers with ways to communicate. These companies include things like Discord, TeamSpeak, and Skype, which you guys might know. But not a single company uses a complex algorithm system to match up gamers across such a wide target demographic. We can target everyday casual gamers, the pro players who need players who match their skill level. What about our business model? Now, Squad Up is a free use-based platform. One of our highest priorities was finding a way to mix ease of access with profit. Because the truth is, the more active players and users that we have, the more successful Squad Up will be. And the more specific and, well, just the better the results will be when pairing up people. And we still have ads as a source of revenue. We also have optional paid monthly subscription upgrade programs to unlock exclusive features. This includes the removal of ads and also a thorough verification process. Now, one of our biggest issues that we ran into at first was how are we going to make sure that people are being truthful when giving their skill. So we designed 3 different types of verification. The most ideal one will be extracting statistics straight from the game platform, but the truth is you can't always do that. So the second is if they're a member of this optional paid program, they can use something called screenshot verification. Here, they take a screenshot of their skill, send it to us, and if we can verify it because it is, honest, then we will give them a verified mark next to their username. This increases their chances of being matched up with a perfect team because people know that they're being honest about their skill. And finally, we also have a basic reviewing system. So after just 1 or 2 games, it's pretty easy to get a sense if people are being truthful about their skill level. And then, both parties can review each other's profiles on their honesty. But we also realize that people might not really be that honest when reviewing the other person's honesty. They might just give 1-star reviews just because they feel like that, really doing that. So we'll also show the usual average percentage of the review that they're giving. So if you see that somebody is always giving 1-star reviews, you can tell that they're probably being dishonest. But if they have a good healthy mix of reviews, then they're probably an honest reviewer. Also, new customers can be attracted to advertising. Now, the team. I have experience in public speaking, project management, product development.
And I have a lot of experience in programming languages, including SQL, Java, HTML, and much more. And on top of that, I have experience in UI and UX design.
And we're both avid gamers. Thank you.
All right, turn it over to Sharks. I guess we can check this one off. I'm wondering particularly how you differentiate yourself, particularly with a service like Discord that already seems to have large market penetration. A lot of
Well, what Discord does is it just allows people to communicate with each other, and there are some groups that you can match up people with the game. We get really specific. So if you're looking for somebody in that has your skill level, we can match you up with that person, or very casual with that person. So like I said, we have several different criteria. Some are much more important than others. For example, we're never going to match somebody up with somebody else who doesn't play the same game. That wouldn't make any sense. Also, for safety reasons, we'll match people up in the same age range, such as 13 to 16, 17 to 22, and things such as that. And then there are also following categories such as what is your skill level, what form of communication do you use, do you communicate via a microphone or via typing, and then after that goes through the percentages of how likely these are and their level of importance, then people will be matched up based on how close of a match they are. Discord really only just provides the game. And also, for example, if you were in a game and you're not already with friends and you matched up, it's going to be purely random. So there really is no specific reasons for why you're being matched up with these people.
So what have you guys actually built to date?
So right now, this is mainly just a concept, but we think that we could probably get a site up and going in a few months and have an early beta test.
How come you didn't already do that?
Well, we actually just heard about this program a few weeks ago. This is an idea I've actually had for a very long time. Getting this helped me a lot. I thought of it in like over 10 different countries and across the world. And one thing I really realized was it's really hard to keep friendships when you're moving all the time. You don't have this whole childhood friendship kind of thing that a lot of people who stay in one place do. But in gaming gives you this opportunity to stay in touch with people across the world. I still have friends who live in Brazil who I haven't seen in years. So I was kind of thinking, what about people who maybe are outside of school or are working, who still play video games, and don't have the opportunity to always be, playing with their friends or something like this. And that's kind of how I thought of this. And it's been kind of an idea of mine for a while, but I've never had the programming skills to make it a reality. And that's why I met Jay, and Jay is a programmer, so
So can I answer that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we know the process through which we're going to actually develop this program. We plan on using a specific language called SQL, in which we could have a database that easily allows players to get matched up with each other based on skill level and different vendors.
What are startup costs for something like this?
Well, I think that there are certain things it also depends on what kind we're looking at. So if we want to, because this is the kind of thing that can be both an app like on your phone or on a website, and I think that, well, it's hard to give an exact because, for example, on Apple, I believe you have to actually verify, and for some websites, you have to pay for a URL, so it really depends if we're going with just a desktop app or Android phone, or Android app versus an iPhone app. All of those things are different. Eventually, we'd like to get all of those different platforms, but right now, it really depends on what you're starting with.
What is your instinct how you start in terms of building options?
Well, I think probably with the desktop because most people, that'll be the common ground, while Android I think would probably be cheaper than Apple. A lot of people have Apple. So I'd like to also say, Apple too, but that might be harder, more expensive. You have to use their specific app creating software. So I think the desktop is the easiest place to start.
So I'm a gamer, and I'm not a gamer, right? And I want to build a team.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that there's enough of a need out there among gamers to want to match up by skill level or age or whatever it is that the particular games that they're playing, that people will value this as a way to evaluate their potential teammates. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much. So there is a need for this because so many of multiplayer games, it's not just you playing against other people, but it's you and a team. That can be a team of 4, a team of 6. There are games with teams of 50. And that kind of thing, that is the reason that you need these people. Now maybe we can't build a team of 50, but a close team of 4 that provides good communication, teamwork, and even friendship. That's exactly what this program can do. Help you find those people, help find each other, and then really succeed like that.
I'm just wondering how you differentiate yourself from the matchmaking algorithms that are already in games, for example, like those competitive strategies that are already ranking players, still asking for the team up. Is this really a community play on top of that, or is your player-to-player skill matching that?
Well, there are definitely certain things that those hit that are part of our program, but really we have such a greater wide range. So for games that aren't super competitive, what they'll do is they'll just throw you into somebody who is in the same region as you. So that is one of our things, but then we also, for those more casual games, people can still play competitively, and for that then we have our competitive matchmaking. And then for competitive games, we also get more specific, such as, are you communicating with a microphone, piping, region, age range, because even if they're matching you up somewhat based on your skill, it's going to be with a random person, someone you don't know, an age, who could be however old, probably in the region, but you don't have a microphone, all of these things that we add. So really, we're encompassing all of that.
Great. That's time. Thank you, guys. All right, next up is Coffee Buzz.
Hi guys, my name is Ayush Krishnamurti. My name is Marsha, and today we're going to be presenting about our idea coffee bar, one coffee at a time. So the purpose of this company is to promote community within a world which has become oversaturated with technology, one coffee at a time.
Okay, so a big problem we see today in a lot of colleges is college students don't have the time to go out and get coffee, but they always need like at least 2 to like 6 or 7 hours to get done with their schoolwork and like everything they have to do. So another problem we see is delivery charges for people going out to getting your food, such as on apps like Uber Eats and HelloFresh. So our solution is a mobile app which eliminates delivery charge and relies on a group of friends going out and getting each other coffee on regular.
So why not? 40% of people from ages 18 to 24, typically in college, drink coffee almost every day. The average student spends about 17 hours each week preparing for classes, and homework along with those classes total about 32 hours each week for college, and that doesn't even incorporate time for extracurricular activities such as sports or if they work. Right? So how the product works?
So the product is going to be a mobile app, as I mentioned before, and it's going to have a group of friends it's going to have like a social media kind of aspect where a group of friends will, like one person in that group of friends will send out a notification to the group when they're going out to get coffee. And the people in that college or university within that group of friends will send out a list of what they want from that store back to the person going out to get coffee. That person will go to the coffee store and bring back have like 3 or 4 cups of coffee.
So the market size. So our market size is primarily colleges, but we could expand to large population areas where coffee shops and breakfast places are within a 5-minute walk distance. So our competition is primarily Uber Eats, Amazon Fresh, Postmates, and Grubhub. All have a similar service where they deliver food for other people. But how we're different from them is we have no delivery charge. It's purely community based. So you rely on your friends to pick you up coffee, and your coffee and your friends rely on you to pick up coffees. It is also there's more trust in the people who are bringing your food or coffee or whatever they're bringing you. You don't, unlike Uber Eats or Amazon Fresh, where a stranger goes, picks up your food, comes back. It's your friend, someone you know and trust, will go get your food and bring it back, and you don't have to worry about stuff like people drugging food if it goes to that extent. The other thing is also we want to build a community based on this. So this is our business model.
So how we price our product is it's going to be a free app to download for college students to use. However, we're going to charge certain like local college coffee stores and like big chains such as like Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks to get onto the app. And the reason why we believe that stores will pay to be on our app is it's like very free, very good publication for these stores. And if we can get a large amount of people in the college or university to download our app, then some coffee store that's like 2 or 3 blocks down the road that never gets any customers can start getting extra customers a day. And we don't currently have any customers, but we have reached out to a couple of students within colleges such as like Boston University, Suffolk, and it seems like it's
So our goals are primarily by 2019 we want to have an app up and running. In terms of cost, generally entry-level apps are $5,000, but with our app we really want to make sure that our app has good first impression, because 85% of people's times on their smartphone are only dedicated to 5 or 6 apps, and in order for our business to be successful, we need to be one of those 5 or 6 apps. We also want to get it into small local colleges like Framingham University or Worcester University. By mid-year 2019, we wish to have at least 2,000 downloads, and by 2020, we hope to grow the product to as many colleges as possible across the country, and we hope to expand the community app, which is a big part of the app that we would like to talk about. So where we want to be in 10 years. At the end of 10 years, if the app is majorly successful, and hopefully it is, We don't want to be another Amazon Fresh or an Uber Eats that are just thought of as delivery services. We want to be a company that promotes community and builds relationships and bonds with people you may not know. For example, if you're in an apartment complex, you may bond over someone over a cup of coffee purely just through this app. And it is also a small icebreaker saying like, hey, we have this app. You guys, we use this app to create a carpool for coffee. And we hope to be one of a company that promotes community and not just thought of as a delivery service. Thank you, and any questions?
Hey, just guys, practically speaking, is it more designed for, I'm sitting around in my dorm room and I gotta do a bunch of homework or I have an exam the next day, and I don't have time to run out to the Dunkin' that's, 2 blocks away from campus. So I get on your app and say, hey, is anybody going to Dunkin'? I'd like you to grab me a coffee, whatever the case may be. Is it more that I'm looking for somebody to go, or is it more I'm going, does anybody on the app need me to grab something for them, or is it vice versa?
Yeah.
How does that kind of work practically speaking?
Yeah, it's good to be without like a 50-50 split for you using the app. If you're in a group, like it's going to create a group of you and your friends saying like, oh, my friend is using this app, I'm going to add them to this group. And if you have a group of like 10 people and 3 or 4 times a day getting a notification saying, like a coffee if you like anything, then that's the time that you can be using it to get your cup of coffee and you just swap completely. And if like you have that free time where you're going out to get a cup of coffee and you're not really doing anything, then that's when you can coffee.
Gotcha. Now, if somebody did that, brought it back, they'd have to bring it to my dorm room or I'd meet them outside the building or whatever. How do I pay? How's that?
For this part, I didn't touch on it, but we plan to integrate PayPal or Venmo into the app for people who want to pay electronically or maybe don't have cash on them. But if we want to have an option if people don't want to some people don't like to put their credit card in an app that they don't know about. Sometimes they just don't want to do that. So we're going to have the option. It's really going to be mainly community-based, so that it's some sort of trust between the two people. If Aman's going, get the coffee, come back, he's going to expect me to pay him, right? And I think that's something that the community has to work on. But I feel like if it's a group of friends and not just random people, I feel like there's more of a chance for someone to pay back almost immediately, or maybe like a week later, rather than
just touching upon that, that's going to be mainly for like cash, when someone's telling you, oh, I'll pay you cash and back. But if you order something on the go, like if you order like a cup of coffee from your friend, then and you don't have any cash, then you immediately have to pay them before they send out.
Gotcha. Probably a lot of electronic payment because I've had a few kids in college, but they never have cash.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to touch upon most, is going to be PayPal, Venmo.
Cool, thanks.
So as the only woman on the panel here, I have a real security issue with this. So I'm sitting in my dorm room and I put out this app that I want somebody to get the coffee and deliver it to my personal address. Can you talk about that?
So this is actually, we have thought about this. So originally the idea was to create almost borrowing sugar from a neighbor, but on a more geographic scale, where it's anybody. But we realized a lot of security risks and health risks of that. As you said, anybody could come if someone brings you your coffee or your whatever they're bringing you. Someone can easily do something, and that's what we pride ourselves on. Making sure we're different from the places like Uber Eats. You are the one who's setting up a group of people who you want to bring. So if you don't trust a certain person to bring you food, you don't have to add them to the app. So say I don't trust Aman, but I trust one of you. I'll say I'll add you three on the app. Aman won't get a notification saying, hey, I'm going out for coffee, or if he's going out for coffee, he's not going to bring me a coffee. It's only going to be the people I trust. I hope that answers your question.
So the user determines the group?
Yes, the user determines the group.
Yeah. You're going to be saying oh, I'll send you a notification when you download it, saying oh, you want to invite 3 people from your contact list, and then you say, oh, my dorm friends could probably want to use this app too. And you invite them onto the app, and then that's where the group is created, and that's where the trust is.
So how is it different if the 5 of us live in the same dorm floor, and
we formed a group, a text group, of friends, and we said, hey, who's going to coffee?
This is actually one of the first questions before being a month posed about when we thought about it. There's really two main reasons. One is when we went into Boston probably 4 weeks back now, and we talked to people in Boston. We said, why would you use this app over an app that over just a group message app? Because you could easily just say like create a group message and order coffee that way. But what we want it app to be, we want to streamline that process. In a group message, you sometimes you have lots of messages all at once, and trying getting one person to figure out what each person wants and not messing up the order and then dealing with paying and stuff, it becomes a very big hassle, right? Whereas if you have an app purely dedicated for the coffee or lunch, etc., it's more streamlined. When you guys, I say, hey, I want to order a coffee. I'm going out to coffee. Do anything you want? Amani could say, yeah, I want this, and it would come to my phone and it would show the list. You said that you wanted iced latte. He said you wanted a mocha. It would come like that. The second main thing is notifications are much more impactful than texts. Again, referencing our interviews with people in Boston, a lot of people said that if they see a text message come on their phone and they hear a ping, they're less likely to look at it unless there's other than like a notification. So if a notification came up saying, hey, this person's going out to coffee, they're more likely to respond to that notification rather than just simply a text message.
Great. Thank you guys.
Mascara maximizer.
So my company's purpose is to devise a method to apply mascara and prevent eye infection. So the problem is that current mascara tubes on the market are very susceptible to bacteria and can cause many eye infections. When you put on mascara, it touches your eye and then you put it back in the wand, which gets bacteria all over the inside of the tube. And also, this bacteria builds up over time and it causes you to have to throw away the product much earlier than expected. So this is a picture that shows the buildup and how the growth is gotten, and also this is conjunctivitis, also known as pink eye, which is one of the symptoms that you can get from overused mascara. Also, a study was conducted at Northeastern State University that says microbial organisms are normally presented on human eyelashes. When you put on mascara, it has the potential to increase the mascara tube with microbes. So my product is an apparatus that attaches to the normal mascara tube. And so when you insert the wand, a protective layer of plastic goes over the wand, so that way when you use it, you can take it off. So, and then the plastic layer that goes on is made of plastic, as most wands normally are, so it will not hinder the capability of mascara to stick to the wand. Also, the product is an apparatus which attaches to any mascara tube you want, so you can still use your favorite product while keeping your eyes safe. So this is the product. It's a cone shape that goes into the wand, into the tube right there. And then when there's plastic sheets in the cone, as shown there, and then the wand goes in and covers the wand in plastic. So how this works is that since the sheets are a one-time use only, there's no chance of cross-contamination between your eye and the mascara tube. There are 50 to 100 single-use sheets in the cone, and this will allow people to get many uses out of the product. For reference, it's very similar to a thermometer cover where you place it on and then throw it away after so you don't get any nasty things. So the solution is modified. It prevents bacterial buildup while still functioning normally, and it only adds one small extra step to your routine that can save you from staph infections, pink eye, and other infections that can seriously impair vision. So why now? Now more than ever, people are more concerned about their health and what is going on near their body. My product is concerned with the consumer's health, and it can help many people who have suffered or will suffer in the past from eye infections caused from mascara. If we take advantage and capitalize on the health aspect now, we can forever change and impact the makeup market. So patent. In order to keep this product safe, my goal is to acquire a patent. This patent will allow my product to remain unique and different from anything else on the market, and it will keep me from having many competitors. So market size. Currently, the beauty industry as a whole is worth $160 billion and is growing by 7% each year. Additionally, the makeup industry alone is worth $18 billion. And just the mascara part of the makeup industry alone is worth $4.8 million. And this is a bar graph showing how it's increasing over the years. So competition. So currently the beauty competition is very large because there's so many different products and things out there, but there's no one making any sort of bacterial prevention. Most companies aren't concerned about the consumer, they're just concerned about selling, and so my product is very different than that. Also, what will keep people coming back, so these are single-use sheets, so they have to keep going back to get more in like 3 months. So for sales, so I have the option of going to like drugstores or selling to major beauty corporations, and I'll go to major beauty corporations because when you go into drugstore, you're looking for things that you need to pick up on the way home or you forgot to get. But when you go to a major beauty supplier such as Sephora or L'Oreal Group, they're looking for only makeup-related things. So when people go into the stores and see my product, they will be more inclined to buy it. So my business model. I'll make money by appealing to about 20% of the market. If I manufacture the apparatuses at $100,000 for 100 attachments, I'll have 50% gross margin if I sell them at $2 each, which means I could be looking at a possible $800 million business. Also, if I get the attention from major beauty corporations, I could sell my idea as intellectual property and not worry about making money, and I could make money off of commission and not manufacturing. So, in conclusion, my product protects your eyes and has a huge market for opportunity. If we capitalize now, we could change the beauty industry forever. Thank you.
I've never used mascara.
Neither
have I. I'm struggling.
I have a daughter that lives at Alta. Is it called Alta?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she lives there. So what you're telling me is there's absolutely positively nothing out there to protect when you guys put mascara on at all.
So
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I have like a lot of bacteria, like the most bacteria on your face. So when you put mascara on and then put it back in the tube, it gets bacteria everywhere, and so there's nothing else on the market that's really concerned for the consumer. They're only worried about making money, and so they don't really worry about the consumer.
So when you put your, for lack of a better term, I'll call it the cover. So when you put your cover on it and use it, A, it doesn't deteriorate what you're trying to get done.
Yeah, no.
And B, is it easily taken off and thrown out, or how's that work too? Is
Yeah,
that very simple?
there's a small little tab on the side that you just peel off and throw it away. There's one small extra step.
Gotcha.
So can I just say, I wear makeup, and my visualization of it is that it's annoying and a pain to get the little thing off when I'm done, and that I would prefer to skip the step. So that's my first thought when you said it, is one more thing. But it sounds like, and I don't know, you don't have any kind of demonstration because it's just theoretical.
Yeah.
So.
So yeah, there's a tab where we'll make it easily to come off, and I get that people don't want that one extra step, but that one extra step could save you thousands of dollars in medical bills for like antibiotics and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm wondering for all the women out there that have got it, which is probably millions, right? Some kind of infection or whatever at one time or another, they'll do it, right? I would think.
Do you have any data on how often some type of an infection occurs because of this?
I don't have any like statistics because I couldn't find an exact statistic because not many people like come forward about that. But a lot of that I have found some first-hand accounts who said that like they would do something like this just to save that money from going to the eye doctor, buying antibiotics, keep that into a bunch.
Have you thought of using or implementing a different business model that's more similar to like a 1-800 contact so that you don't have to go through a retailer and increase your margins that way? Why are you sticking to the big box beauty supply?
I think I was thinking that because when people go in there and see it, like they'll be more inclined to use it. And also major beauty stores like that, they do your makeup for you, and that could also help them as a company, so that way they don't have to worry about cleaning ones and stuff like that and using a new one every time.
Yeah, that could be an interesting kind of beachhead market on its own. Is that if they're having to replace wands every time they're doing somebody's makeup, they're already doing the extra step. So that could be interesting, something like that.
All right.
Great, thank you. Good job. Master Will. Will, you're up.
I'm Will Huebner, and this is Master Wealth Education and Wealth Management Made Simple. All right, so the debt problem. So the average student in the class of 2016 has $37,172 in student loan debt, which is a lot. Many students attending prestigious schools leave with over $100,000 in student loan debt, and colleges and universities that these students attend fail to educate these students on how to properly manage their money, refinance loans, plan for retirement, any basic wealth management skills that'll help them deal with this debt, other than maybe like finance majors who will do this for a living. So my solution is an online educational program that teaches college students how to manage their wealth better, investing strategies, how to build credit, and more importantly, student loan refinancing, because that's the biggest issue here. So the platform will be built with Jebit, Tom Coburn's company. It's a software program that not only collects data but can be used to create lessons and surveys to personalize the experience for the students, and allows text, images, videos, any form of multimedia to help keep the students engaged. So why now? The student loan debt problem in America is only getting worse. It has surpassed both auto loan debt and credit card debt in the past few years. And these students, not only are they going to be in debt with student loan debt, but other forms of debt as they go out into the real world and start making investments and pulling out loans. So, so it's crucial that we get to the biggest problem here. And the reality is that these colleges, they're aware that these students are taking on this debt, except they're not educating students on how to handle this debt properly, and it's leaving them with this debt for years and years after. And the thing about student loan debt is that you can't file bankruptcy with student loan debt. It'll stick with you forever, even if you pass away, it'll go on to your family, so there's no way of getting rid of it any other way. So my marketing and growth strategy is selling directly to colleges and universities all over the country to be used by their students. And it'll be priced based off of the amount of students at the college or university. So I'll start out more local in Massachusetts and New England, and then preferably more progressive ones that would be more willing to adapt this type of new program. And then from there, spread around the nation. So the market opportunity. There are 114 colleges and universities in the state of Massachusetts alone. In New England, which is one of the biggest college and university hubs in the whole nation, there's probably close to 1,000. There are 5,300 colleges and universities in America as a whole, and this could be really beneficial mainly to college and universities. So my competition. So there are other programs out there that educate people on wealth management, but none of them go straight to the college and provide them as a service as a part of the college's program. And a lot of them are also very expensive. So first here in the bottom right, there's LearnLux, which is a newer company based out of Boston, I believe, and they recently got funding at South by Southwest from CEO of Salesforce. But I've gone through their courses, I've taken their lessons, and a lot of their lessons are very superficial, lack a lot of depth and real strategy that they can use. It's really basic stuff that I could have Googled in 5 minutes. It's nothing new that I could have really gotten out of this specific product. Infinite Prosperity is a program in which you can learn wealth management, but it is a course that you have to purchase for $400 to $500 depending on the version that you get and the benefits that you want with it. I have taken that course and it has been very helpful, but the affordability is definitely a major issue with this type of thing. And similar with Investopedia Academy, they have multiple courses. whereas Infinite Prosperity is a singular course. Investopedia Academy is more specific courses sold at lower prices, but because it is spread out over different topics, you have to buy multiple, up to like $200, $300 courses to really get any of the education that you want. Whereas with my company, because I will be selling to the colleges and universities, the students, this will be provided to them as part of their tuition, so it's at no extra cost to them. So the product. So the lessons will be compiled of text, graphs, images, videos, and other forms of multimedia, maybe audio from podcasts or wherever educational value may be found. So in the top right here, you have an example of what might be a text lesson. It discusses diversification, the power of diversification in investing, and how diversifying your investments is lower risk and over time can help you benefit more. Over here is an image. It's a graph that shows you the power of building a solid foundation off of saving and low risk investments, and then moving your way towards up the higher leverage speculation that can make you more money in the short term, but you would want to use a smaller percentage of your money with to overall build your wealth. And then here's a video that might be incorporated as part of the lesson to teach people about building their credit from a young age, because that is something that does take a long time and is important in getting out to the real world and establishing yourself, whether it's like a loan for a home or for a car or anything. So my experience with wealth management and investing, all that. So I'm the officer of the Hopkinton High School Investment Club, where we meet every week. We discuss investments. We have a mock simulator where we are given money to invest in index funds, stocks, anything really. And we discuss financial literacy and all that. I've taken multiple courses on investing, trading, and wealth management to further my education on this topic. And I run a digital marketing agency part-time, in which I've had to learn how to manage my money better and be smart with my money. And I plan on working with other experts in the field. I have connections that are experts in wealth management and financial services that I could work with to further my education. So company goals. By July 1st, 2018, have the basic program built. Start by reaching out to local schools. So I'll build this program by working with with experts in the field and have them work with me to create the educational platforms. And then I'll start reaching out to local schools, most likely within an hour drive of here. Start out small, maybe offer it as a free service to build a case study for other schools. So January 1st, 2019, acquired first college or university as to use as a case study. So as I mentioned before, this would be used. I would reach out to this and offer it to them free for the first year or so, trying to figure out how the students take advantage of the product and build a case study for other universities. And by 2020, the program used by dozens of colleges and start charging at this point. And by 2021, have it be a program used by at least 50 colleges and universities around the nation. And that is it.
Can I ask a clarifying question, please? Is the goal to have a college promote it to their students? Is that the goal? You're talking about getting it into the schools.
So it's going to be a program, I'm going to sell it to the schools, and the schools will use it as a program that they can give to their students as to educate them. So like, it's not necessarily a promotion, it's offered to them as a program to use as like a part of their education there.
The colleges buy it?
Mm-hmm.
They pay a licensing fee, like on an annual basis?
Yeah.
I'm wondering about how you're thinking about going about generating the content for your program. Like, my college uses a program similar to this, it's like actually atrocious. But like, comparing to a service like LearnLux that has like 500 hours of content, $1 million in funding behind them, how do you want to bootstrap to get an equal amount of content, or at least more targeted content to what is relevant to college students?
Well, I'll start by working with experts in the field that could help create the content and education, and also pulling from other sources online that offer it for free. So I could not necessarily it wouldn't be like plagiarism. It would be like, let's say I learned this from this website or this course or something. I could take this lesson and teach it in my own sort of way as my online course as a lesson.
Do students have the time to take these courses in college or the willingness to do additional work, or would they be more interested in doing it when they graduate?
Well, this would be over the course of the 4 years that they're there, or 2 years there, depending on the program. And with the program, it isn't it's not going to be the same heavy course load as maybe their bio class or something like that. It's not going to be as time consuming. It'll be like I have an hour or two here, an hour or two there that I can get to it, and it's really just there for students to take initiative if they realize they'll realize the importance of this, and if they truly realize the importance of this, they'll take the initiative and use the program.
How do you attract the kids that don't have the initiative but need it, which is most?
Well, part of the program will educate them on the importance of being able to build a solid foundation for their financial future. So if they just go through the introduction, of the course, it'll probably be about that, and they'll realize how much trouble they might be if they don't realize the importance of building their financial foundation.
It seems like universities are going to be your partners. They're really going to be the ones selling this. You're selling it to them.
Mm-hmm.
And the point that was raised before about time constraints and majors in college and so on and so forth. You spoke a lot about student loans and educating the students as to the ways that they can manage their debt that they're incurring while they're at these universities. How do you sell to the university that they need to provide this for their students?
Well, a lot of what students look for when they're applying to colleges is the ROI that they'll get from it, not only from jobs that they'll receive afterwards, but also ability to use the education that they've gotten there to make the money back that they've spent there and just be financially successful in the future. And this will be something that'll be great to advertise to students, because they'll say we provide a program for students to build a solid financial foundation so that they don't have to worry about their student loan debt for much longer after they graduate. And then going along with this, I won't just be working with colleges. To build the program, I'll also be working with bankers or lenders that'll lend their services or money. So I could say if you're looking to refinance your loans, here's 2 companies that have sponsored me and have funded my company that provide great services for refinancing student loans. So it provides them with the tools right there to do that.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Our last group is Compact Communities.
Good evening, and thank you for meeting with us today. My name is Leah, and with me are Sunita, Miranda, and Zach. We have created an innovative real estate company, Compact Communities, for the development of tiny home communities throughout the United States. Our team will focus on the marketing and site selection of the developments, and we will outsource construction companies to build the homes. As an example of our marketing expertise, we have selected Phoenix, Arizona as the first potential location for the developments.
So we've decided to expand to Phoenix, Arizona due to its low competition, strong customer base, and growing market. Currently, there are less than 5 tiny home companies based within Arizona, and with the minimal zoning restrictions Phoenix provides, our company will dramatically capitalize the growth. Additionally, over half of Phoenix's age demographic lies within our target audience of individuals and couples over the age of 50. Within the past year, demand for lodging in Phoenix has increased 5%, with an even further 5% increase projected for 2018. Phoenix, Arizona grants our target audience access to both the city as well as natural wonders. Additionally, Arizona's desert climate eliminates central heat expenses, as well as concerns over snowstorms and hurricanes, making Phoenix, Arizona an effective location for expansion.
Our main goal is to maximize use of the upcoming tiny house trend while preparing for future growth and global expansion. We have devised our plan to develop a single tiny house community that includes 100 homes. And once these homes are sold, it is crucial to us to look to the future to continue to generate profit. The benefit of our plan is it is reusable, so our community can be constructed more than once in local areas as well as in other locations throughout the world. Furthermore, it is important to appeal to potential customers in the rising market. And we will do this by offering many amenities and other services, ideally creating lasting relationships with our customers. And so these strong relationships, along with support from our local government, will allow Palo Verde Village to prosper in Phoenix, Arizona.
So our target audience for this expansion will be individuals or couples over the age of 50, as 40% of tiny homeowners are within this age range, and 50% of Phoenix's population is within this age demographic. Palo Verde Village aims to reduce 3 major aspects of home buying for our customers: environmental footprint, cost of living, and legal responsibilities. The West Coast in general has been suffering from a major drought in the last couple of years, so tiny homes not only offer a simpler solution for those concerned about water conservation, but they also help to reduce electricity, heating, and cooling usage. Tiny homes also help to reduce the overall cost of living for our customers, as our lowest price is $35,000, while the median house in the United States costs about $206,000. And finally, Phoenix has little to no tiny home regulations, which eradicates the customer of responsibility over the lot in which the homes are on.
We have decided to demonstrate trends in the tiny home market in Phoenix in a textile analysis format to ensure multifaceted review. Politically, with the support of Mayor Greg Stanton, the Phoenix City Council has recently approved and incentivized compact housing similar to Palo Verde Village. In terms of the economics, as I mentioned earlier, demand for lodging in Phoenix specifically has increased 5% within the past year and is projected to increase steadily. Additionally, social trends including Phoenix's rising population, which currently is top 5 in the country. That has further caused a 20% increase in permits for single-family units, which would additionally be part of our target audience. Technological and environmental trends include tiny home companies prioritizing environmentally friendly technology, such as the expandable polystyrene foam, which we have implemented into our design. And lastly, legal trends. Recently, many tiny home companies, as well as many citizens in Phoenix, have pushed for more specific legal standards specific to tiny homes, which you can find in the Maricopa County local editions and addenda. Overall, we believe that this pastel analysis format greatly demonstrates how Phoenix, Arizona is growing increasingly accommodating to the tiny home market.
One of the major factors to consider when deciding on a location for the tiny homes was the competition already present in each state. While Arizona is an ideal location for tiny homes, there are currently less than 5 other competitors there, because the demand for tiny homes has very recently been increasing. Both Luxembourg communities and Tiny Treasure Homes are located in Arizona, 185 miles away from Phoenix. This great distance between our developments lessens the threat of losing customers and also offers Palo Verde Village a competitive edge as it offers customers convenient access to the city. Uncharted Tiny Homes is located in Cave Creek, Arizona. However, they currently sell 75% of their homes to customers outside of the state, further reducing their impact on the tiny home market within Arizona. And lastly, Tumbleweeds Tiny Homes currently markets their product in the state. However, the company is $1 million in debt and facing bankruptcy due to poor management. These 4 other companies will not pose major threats or setbacks to the development, as Palo Verde Village is in a prime location with a number of amenities to attract customers.
There are many factors which were considered when determining the prices for the different models of the Palo Verde Village homes, as seen there. And so it was important to set prices that were low enough to appeal to potential customers, yet high enough to establish a low payback. And so the fixed costs for our project include the costs for land and materials for construction. And the fixed costs include a real estate commission and taxation. And so more on that. Wages and salaries are actually considered as both types of costs due to the fact that fixed salaries are for permanent staff, while variable salaries represent how the number of maintenance staff is going to be dependent on the number of homes that have been sold. And so the beauty of this project is the fact that it is a living community, so the company is able to continuously generate profit through an annual homeowners association fee. And so based on our calculations in the pro forma and the marketing plan in front of you, we have determined that the payback point will be reached after 4.58 years, and the return on investment for this project is 21%, which is above average for real estate investments.
And now we'd like to thank you for your time and consideration and offer you this opportunity to give us any questions you may have.
So I have 34 questions I'd like to ask you. Are you a development company or a construction company?
So we're actually, we try to kind of explain it before, but so basically what we are is we're kind of a marketing company / real estate company, and what we're responsible for is actually selecting the sites and then marketing the communities once they start to go into development, such as what we would do here. So we would do a similar process for the different locations that we would choose. So like, for example, if we picked another location in Oregon, we would go through the same process and identify the competition to see what the local trends are specifically. And then once we have this marketing plan set, we will pass that on to a construction company to actually do the development. But even past that, once the community is all completely built, we will still be responsible for marketing the homes and just in general marketing the community to get more customers attracted.
So you identified yourself as a marketing company. Who's buying this land and building these homes?
Well, I think mainly that would be the construction company, because we're the ones actually proposing the marketing plan to them.
We're selecting the locations for the tiny homes, so then we would provide the plans and the development for the construction companies, and then they would be the ones to take the plan and build like the developments.
Your market research is really good. The stuff you did on Phoenix is really good. I want to compliment you on that. Well done. I'm still trying to get my arms around you as an entity. And are you being hired by a development company to do this market selection? You're not the construction company. You're not the development company. You're site selection and marketing, if I understand you correctly.
Yeah, correct. So we're actually our own individual company. And what we do, like we kind of mentioned, is once we get everything figured out for a certain location, then we'll pass that on to the construction company, and they'll be able to do the actual construction. But I guess the benefit of our company is, like we mentioned, we actually come back after that, and we continue to market the community to, again, attract the customers.
Where did the idea come from between the four of you?
So we participate in an organization called Business Professionals of America, and one of the events there is that you would take the prompt was to design a location for the tiny home community. So then to kind of format this better for Shark Tank, we took our idea that we already had for Business Professionals of America, and we kind of translated it so that it made more sense to our pitch for this event specifically.
So the research was done through this other program that you had.
Right. So we had the prompt, but we were the ones that we chose the location, did the research, found that Phoenix, Arizona is going to be the best location for the expansion. And we selected this location and then decided it's, with the upcoming trend of tiny homes in general, like we know that there's TV programs on them focused towards minimalism. Many people are looking for this new opportunity. It's a low-cost opportunity for housing, and it's an upcoming trend that many people
so I guess to add on too, like the reason that we actually brought it here is because we think it's a pretty interesting opportunity, like she said, where it's like, it's kind of the best part of it is it's actually an emerging like industry where, and since I think what's special about us is we're actually proposing these tiny house communities as opposed to just like selling them individually. And so this is like something that's new in a pretty much untapped market. And so our theory is to get ourselves, put our foot in the door first, and then that'll help us to grow before other companies can come in.
I got 2 quick questions. I don't know if you guys have got this far with this. I know you guys say tiny homes. What's the square footage roughly? Do you have any idea or have contemplated the size of the home at all?
Yes, I believe it's about 500 square feet for each home, but we have 3 different models, as you can see on our presentation. So the premier model is the biggest, which includes a higher loft area as well as a porch area. So that goes up to about, I think, 750 square feet.
Gotcha. And then I watch some show once in a while on HGTV, which is talking about this is a big deal for a certain segment of people, but they always seem to be mobile. They always seem like they want to take it to a spot, you know, hang out and stare at the lake for a year and then go look at a mountain with it, you know. Are these mobile? Or are you guys saying, no, we're creating a community, and once these are built, these are not mobile and the people cannot leave?
Yeah, so
they'd have to resell it.
Yeah, they are on a foundation, so they are there for forever, I guess.
Yeah.
But the reason we did that is mainly our target audience is couples or individuals over 50. And so we found that people at this age, they're already probably retired and they're looking to get to a smaller home where they don't have to maintain it and keep up with costs.
Just want to ask one question about the competition. So the other companies that you mentioned that were within range, they are currently marketing tiny homes, or were they development or construction companies themselves?
Those 4 that we mentioned, those are companies that are producing homes. However, our idea is different from any of those other ones because we're creating the community, which Samita had just mentioned. It's creating a long-lasting environment for people who want to have those relationships with their neighbors.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming out. Just a little background. Tom and I started Shark Tank last year. It's more than just the night. We start the program in the beginning of the semester. So starting in January, we offer it up to any of the students to come out once a month for 2 hours after school and cover everything from idea generation to help brainstorm topics to figuring out what your team should be working on, how to work as a team, and then all the way to formulating a pitch. So the ultimate goal was, yes, it's great to build an entrepreneurial program, but also to continue to build out what Hopkinton school systems and what the students are able to have access to, and get access to other characteristics and experience that you wouldn't necessarily get in schools. So yes, specific to business, but also working on presentation, working on building your own personal brand and personal pitch, and brainstorming, team building. So it's been a really great, successful year too. I really want to thank the sponsors who contributed to the $3,500 prize. Most of them are here. So Unibank, I don't think there's a representative from Unibank. Arteria Site, who Don Brown was a judge last year. He's traveling. He's been a great partner. Lee Ablob, Chef's Kitchen on Main. Oasis Financial Services. Under Pressure, Mark Mercer, and then the Chamber of Commerce. As well as Connell, who works for Oasis, did his own fundraiser and raised a bunch of money for us. So thank you guys for being part of it. Really great to be able to have 3 different checks to hand out. So.
Last person that Matt and I want to thank before we give out the money, Doug Scott, teacher here, is our faculty advisor. Matt and I can only be here so regularly, and Doug's been awesome just spreading the word at the high school amongst a lot of the students, and we use his room after school to do the session, so thank you, Doug. All right, almost time to give out the money. Before we do, I just wanted to turn it over to the Sharks so they can each kind of go down the line and just share some quick thoughts on the night.
Hey, I just want to thank everybody for coming. I thought all you guys were awesome. You did a great job. Me, at your age, never mind that. Me now, I couldn't go up and do that. So I totally respect everything you guys did. I thought it was awesome. Keep it up. Winners, losers, there isn't any. I think that you all did a hell of a job. And the fact that you did it outside of what your normal classwork is and exams coming up, and some of you guys are looking at schools, there's enough in sports, there's enough going on, and the fact that you could squeeze this in with some passion to boot was awesome. And I really enjoyed it, and I want to thank you guys.
Yeah, I would love to echo a lot of that. At Dorm Room, we see a lot of like first-time founders and especially college that are going on to raise millions of dollars and build great things. So like, what you were doing is like very real. Like, it will take off. You will build great things. So like, don't get discouraged no matter the outcome of tonight. You're all building products that matter, and like, especially considering like a lot of you had to pick colleges like today. So like, congratulations on getting through that process and also doing things that matter outside of that.
Yeah, I would echo the same things that have been said. I was overall blown away by how professional everybody took this, how passionate you were. I mean, I think if you can keep up that passion and find, whether it's this project or another one, and keep that going as you go through life, it's going to take you a really far way. I was really, really impressed with everybody.
Yeah, really terrific job. My compliments to all of you. And I would encourage you that entrepreneurship is a mindset. It's not a single attempt. And most of us have failed several times. And those failures are hard, but they prepare you for the next one. And you keep going. And so don't stop with one idea, because if you're here today doing this, you are capable of generating multiple ideas. And you will be reinventing yourself every 5 to 7 years in the future. You're not in a career for a lifetime anymore. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
What I would add, some great things were said. So my first experience with entrepreneurship was being at a coin trade show with my dad when I was 9 years old. And he had commented to me that we could bring sodas around to the tables with a cup of ice and sell them for $1 rather than having the folks have to go and pay 75 cents to buy a soda out of the machine. And I made $250 in 2 days at 9 years old. And I knew then that I would never work for an employer ever. It's phenomenal. And if it's in your blood, it's in your blood. And the last point that I'll make is nobody gets to tell you who you are. Nobody gets to tell you what you're capable of. And you need to fail to succeed. So you fall down 7 times and you stand up 8. It's my favorite expression. And without you, we do this for you. You are the future. I know you hear it. It's just so true. And I was blown away. I was so impressed with every single one of you. And just keep going. My favorite acronym, KGDS, keep going, don't stop. Thank you.
We got 3 checks to give out this year, 2 more checks than last year, so that's exciting. What we're going to do, I'll call out the team. If you guys want to come up, we'll take a quick photo over here with Matt and myself, and then we can just hang out afterwards and chat, and then bring all the teams up for one final photo at the end. All right, with that, in 3rd place tonight, receiving a check for $500, we have Jay and Pablo from Squad Up. They are also only freshmen, so we will be seeing 3 more ideas potentially next year. What do you guys think?
Yes.
All right, that took a flash. That was good.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right, in 2nd place, getting a $1,000 scholarship is Kendall and Mascara Maximizer. Congratulations.
First place, $2,000. We get a little drum roll, please. Goes out to Compact Communities.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
You guys want to slide over so it's really one second?
Yeah.
All right. If all the teams want to come up, we're going to do one last photo and then head out.